All right, so it was a great round. It took a lot of looking back over the flow. After all our ballots were signed, we found out it's a 2-1. So clearly a good round, carrying a lot of weight in either direction. I'll go ahead and I guess I'll just recognize the first place so we can just give the hearty round of applause. So the first place winners of the chicken and the egg debates for 2013 are Hunter Pilkinton and Lindsey. I'll go first because my reason is completely different than their reason. I don't buy the self-determination argument simply because they paint this picture of the tribes can self-determine in a predetermined, prescribed box. The laws operate to let them pick their own or determine or enforce their own within the limits of what the Eurocentric laws have already dictated. So I don't buy the self-determination argument. And then it comes down to voters for me. I tell you at the beginning I like voters, or I say that quite often, and then you give me voters in the last 22 seconds, and they're kind of hasty. My voters are my 3 contentions. Well, your contentions are not necessarily the voters, but the ideas of the contentions might be a reason to vote for you. So maybe clear that up a little bit. I definitely wouldn't say, according to Parley, that a dropped argument can't be contended in the second constructive. I think to some extent when you bring up a new argument in your second constructive, you're kind of doing the same thing. It's not a dropped argument, but it's new points that have to be addressed in the rebuttal. So if you ever expect me to vote on that kind of analysis, I won't, just let me know. And then it comes down to equality. Now, we were talking, and this is not a good point for you, that you say no other groups, cannot self-determine their identity or are prescribed, but I don't guess you guys give me enough analysis on the equality of the other groups and stuff.
All right. Well, that was the reason you guys were standing outside so long. Let me just make it clear: there was no talking or groupthink. Everyone stayed separate. So I was by myself, and I was sort of left going through my flow, saying, "Okay, I like this argument. I don't like this. I like this. I don't like this." What made it really difficult was your rebuttal, and it was really long, but I liked it. I needed that last bit to even consider your side, because up until then, I had them completely and totally winning. I think I only got the voters at the very end, and I love self-determination, because I thought, it's great, you're right. They brought up the idea of the criteria, which is what's most ethical, what's most equal. And she left me with the idea of self-genocide, the idea of them killing away themselves, and you left me with the idea of being able to decide for yourself, opposing thoughts, kind of keeping things within the tribe, and just weighing things on what's more equal, what's more ethical. I had to go with saving the race, I guess, over self-determination. It was really close, and it really just came down to voters for me.
So that means I'm the squirrel. I actually bought your whole self-determination thing, and I think that it knocked out, even though she had 1 million voters, me buying your self-determination actually knocked out most of those for me. So it came down to the fact to me that by these Native American tribes actually adopting these, they do get to personally identify within their own tribe who is a member of their own tribe, and that's what it came down to for me. So I felt like at the point when they actually adopt these laws for themselves is the point where that the marginalization is no longer happening. They're choosing for themselves. So
that was a great one.
Have you started these rounds already?
you guys want to